Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. So what do you do when you have a clogged shower drain? Put some Drano in it. Pull out the schmutz, the skuts. That's the key. What do you do? Well, let me just give you a little advice here. A clogged shower drain can put a big damper on your day, especially if you have a lot of kids. Now, I'm speaking from a little bit of experience because, hey, guess what? I don't have any hair. That's right. I'm one of those guys who don't have it. And to be honest with you, it's okay. I don't mind it. Save money at the barbershop. But anyways, see, if you don't want to deal with clogged shower drain, you can always call a plumber. We've got like Shelby Mechanical. Everyone knows me talk about Ron Alexander. Those guys rock, okay? And they're like my go-to plumbing. I got a couple others, but they you want like perfect, you got it. Anyways, you can get a clogged shower drain without having to spend a lot of money on a professional plumber. Think about that, okay? Nowadays, you can go online, find a million different tricks and hacks on how to fix a clogged drain. And that's the one way to do it. Or you can just listen to me. I was speaking to Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical, and here's what he recommended to me when we talked about a clogged shower drain. And here's what he had to say. It's kind of interesting if you think about it. He says, listen, stay away from the gimmicks. Vinegar, baking soda, whatever else people talk about pouring down the drain. You're more than likely to end up with a mess in a drain that's still clogged. I agree. He goes, he also doesn't recommend out-of-the-box chemical drain openers. He says, while they could be effective, they also damage your pipes, end up costing a lot of money in repairs down the road. But there's a handful of things you can try that are safe and do work before going through the trouble of having a plumber come up. The first thing that comes to my mind is like dropping a M80 down the toilet or down the drain, but that won't work. I did that once, just so you know. But here's the first method Ron recommends. A good old-fashioned plunger, right? With hot water. Hot water helps break down common clogging agents like grease, soap, and the plunger can sometimes push through the clog. So yeah, get some really, really, really hot water. Boil a big thing of hot water. That's probably a good idea. And depending on where the clog is and the type of clog, plunging could effectively solve it. It depends on how far down the drain it is. So that's the other thing. But for a clogged shower, Ron from Shelby Mechanical simply says the answer might be the best. A lot of times with a shower problem, it's hair. People don't realize that they could just see the clog and maybe even reach down and pull it out and take off the drain cover. Now that's gross, right? Like, ew. But it's the truth. You can get like those pipe cleaners and you can jam them down the little drain and you can pull them out and see all the schmutz that comes out of it. I call it schmutz. But if it's a little deeper, get a coat hanger. And if you're handy, you feel up to the task, you can always rent a plumber snake at a big box store or deal with a particularly stubborn clog. Now, you can go to like Ace Hardware and you can get those mini snakes, 3, 4, 5, 6 footers, and jam them down in there. I tried it once myself. I messed everything up. Trust me. I like to try and do things myself. I'll go on YouTube. I'll be like, oh, yeah, or I'll watch it on HGTV and see in a half hour they'll remodel the whole bathroom. And by the way, it's all BS. It's all fuzzy math. None of that works. Literally call a pro. Remember, everyone, I'm from the neck down, worth minimum wage. So that's the best part. But again, people will call Ron Alexander from Shelby Mechanical. He even says to me, Adam, people call me all the time. I'm on the phone. I'm spending half a day on the phone giving advice. I said, come on the show. We'll give more advice together. He doesn't mind, though. He likes helping people out. And so that's why I work with him, because he's that friendly. Anyways, there's nothing wrong with doing your due diligence and seeing if you can fix a problem yourself. However, if you're getting nowhere and you're fighting this clogged drain all afternoon because you want to save a few dollars, ask yourself this. This is something at Hire It Done we talk about. How much is your time worth? I ask people all the time, if I were to hire you on an hourly wage, doesn't matter what I tell you what you're doing, labor or for your brain, what would you charge me an hour? Think about what your hourly wage is on yourself. And so that's something like, what is your time worth? Because most homeowners, there's a point where their time is more valuable than they want to end up paying someone to fix it. Can you imagine getting a plumber to do something while you're, tutoring your son in schoolwork or spending time with your family? That's the problem with home improvement today. Time, it's a 4-letter word. Time is the new currency, okay? It used to be the most important tool in your toolbox was your checkbook, thanks to Glenn Hagee. Well, now thanks to Adam Helfman, I'm telling you, the new tool in your toolbox is time. Time is your currency. What is your time worth? That's why it's smart to delegate and be efficient. Multitask. I'm a multitasker. I screw things up all the time, though. But anyways, if you need a plumber, unclog a drain, or whatever you want, go to hireitdone.com. You're going to get a guy like Ron Alexander coming out to help you. It's easy done. Easy peasy, lemon cheesy. Always, if you have a question, by the way, you can always call me. Good morning to Emil. You need home improvement financing. Anyways, you can always call me and or email me, and I'll help you out. So what are some of the trends going on in home improvement? Do you want to know how to keep your house clean? Like duct cleaning? How about air quality, air infiltration or air filtration, right? In your house. Think about that. What do you want to do? It's pretty simple. It's not hard, okay? So the key is for you to figure out how to write your list, how to keep it clean. We have some heating and cooling guys that will put like infrared or UV lights in your ductwork. The UV will kill all the bacteria, kill the viruses. It kills everything. Do you want that in your house? I got it in my house. I've got the UV lights. And hopefully I won't get sick. But we're going to talk about cleaning and stuff around your house as well. But we also have, what are some of the trends in home improvement? One of the biggest trends is flooring. Think about it. You do a kitchen, you always do a new floor. You do a bathroom, you usually do a new floor, right? You're building an addition, there's a floor. You want to just fix your house up, there's a floor. Carpeting is my favorite, but the biggest, fastest growing trend in flooring in home improvement is hard surfaces. And LVT, and I'm sure they're going to come up with another name soon, it's luxury vinyl tile, which looks like hardwood. But it's vinyl, it's waterproof, mold proof. We're going to get all that details out of there because we have a contractor in studio, Brian Rader from Dedicated Floor, coming up next. And you know what? I think hardwood floors or luxury vinyl tile is corona proof. We're going to find out when we come back. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Saturday morning Corona edition. What are you going to do? Keep it clean. Keep your distance. Social distancing. I kind of like that word, social distancing. Anyways, this is the sport of home improvement, in case you wanted to know. And welcome back, everyone. So one of the fastest trends and one of the growing trends of the last 5 years in home improvement is flooring. People, obviously you remodel a kitchen, you remodel a bathroom, you put a room addition, flooring. Did you know 80% of all home improvement is spent in the first 2 years of home ownership? And home improvement, by the way, there's $450 billion a year spent. So think about that. Most homeowners spend most of their home improvement dollars in the first 2 years of home ownership. And in that 2 years, it's always flooring. It's one of the items they do. Roofing, concrete, landscaping, painting, flooring. So to talk about flooring with us and what are the trends and how you get it done in your house and, getting it done properly is half the battle, is Brian Ritter from Dedicated Floor Covering out of Troy, Michigan. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, Adam. How are you?
I'm awesome, brother. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Let me ask a quick question for 2020.
Yes.
I always say flooring is a trend. Are you seeing a lot of uptick in the request for flooring?
Yes, we are. And there have been a lot of changes these days. This year, we took on a lot of new product. They've had manufacturing changes, which are definitely to the better. They're all for the consumer. We've taken the old style of laminate flooring, which unfortunately they had some curling issues and some other things. They've waterproofed it. They've changed the resin cores on it.
So the formula got better.
The formula got better.
Makes perfect sense. I like that.
And I'm the kind of guy, what I've done is I it's me, my skepticism. I take a sample of that flooring and I threw it in a bucket of water and I came back to it 3 days later just to test it and see because they say, you've got 72 hours. Well, I want to know before I take it to somebody's home if it's the right product and it's going to do what it says.
Right.
And I came back to it 3 days later and sure enough. And I turned around and bought some for my own home.
So let's talk about like what I call snap click flooring and things like that. So the flooring that used to be the snap click, there were name brands like Pergo and it was, built, it was from Europe and it came over. That flooring was cool and it went down really fast and they're like, oh my God, this is the new trend in flooring. But what happened was they didn't realize if it got any moisture on it, it wasn't waterproof. So it would curl up, it would absorb, it would expand and you'd be like, whoa, ruined. And you can't save that stuff.
No, can't save it at all.
So there's new brands out there, Cortec.
You have Mohawk, Shaw.
All the big
Cascade.
manufacturers.
Oh, everybody. There's fabulous product. And that's that laminate floor that's been completely redesigned. And they
hard
just don't do
surfaces.
it. Yeah, hard surfaces.
So those brands are basically waterproof, water resistant.
Water resistant, yeah.
Right. So I know like our basement remodeling companies that are part of Hire It Done, they use it all the time in their basements. And the best part of it is, listen, if you ever have a flood or you got water damage in your basement, this stuff, you just dry it out and you extract it and dry it. But at the same time, it looks, the way it's manufactured, this is what I love about it. The way it's manufactured, because it's like a high definition picture, it looks exactly like the real thing. You can't tell if it does, you couldn't tell from 10 feet if it's real wood or not.
Oh, the stuff they're coming out with today is even far better than what was out 2 and 3 years ago.
Right. It's amazing to me. And it's the way it goes down. It's much easier to install. So let me ask you a question, Brian. Is it expensive? Like if someone says to me, I'm trying to do new floors. I mean, listen, brand new hardwood floors nailed in by hand, sanded, 3 coats of Varathane. You're looking at $15, $16, $20 a square foot.
Oh, absolutely.
So what are you thinking about luxury vinyl tile or this new laminate? Can you get it done for $7, $8, $9, $10 a foot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can. I mean, with anything, there's price ranges.
There's the good stuff. There's the good, better, best.
We have polyurethane coatings. We have ceramic bead coatings. We have diamond bead coatings. Whether you're getting into a water-resistant laminate, whether you're getting into a waterproof vinyl, waterproof vinyls. If we know you have a soaking wet area or you've got an area that's going to be potentially wet, like a basement, that tend to attract moisture, we're going to put you more into a vinyl. They're slightly more expensive than the laminate. but they're great products. And like the basement guys are telling you, you get water in your basement, you peel the stuff up, you take the shoe molding off or the base molding,
Yeah.
you peel the stuff up, you dry it out, disinfect underneath it, put your floor back down.
And it's
It
done.
looks great, and it's done.
I wonder
'Cause
how
not,
many.
your whole basement gets soaking wet. Only one corner might.
You know what? The first thing that thought to my mind is the minute you have a flood in the basement, most homeowners call their insurance agent, or they'll call like a dry force, and they'll have them extract it. Let's say a lot of companies today, and I don't know who or not, but they come in there and immediately said, "Oh yeah, we got to get rid of this," and they tear out the floor.
Yeah.
They don't realize that the floor. So the homeowners need to know if this is a floor that's waterproof and you ever have a flood, you could save it, and tell the contractor, "Hey, listen, don't be ripping this out. Disassemble it,"
Disassemble it,
which is easy.
which is super easy.
Now,
Saves
how
them
much
a
of your
ton money.
business, Brian? We're talking with Brian Ritter from Dedicated Floor Covering out of Troy, Michigan. DedicatedFloorCovering.com, easily website. Brian, how much of your business is related to floods, fires? People who had a unplanned event. That's which I call like insurance repair.
About 90% of our business.
So you do a lot of that.
Oh, tons of it.
And I know that because the reason why I asked is because a lot of contractors who do that business end up calling you to do the flooring.
Yes.
I know. I didn't realize that. A couple of my insurance repair guys said to me, "Hey, we know you have dedicated flooring. We heard you talk about him. He's our contractor too. When we have a flood, and we call him in to do the flooring." So I didn't realize that you're the first choice for a lot of insurance repair.
We specialize in it. The dedicated floor covering's been around for 18 plus years, and they built their business by servicing that industry. So we know it, we understand it.
So you'll do the insurance language, the
Exactly.
lingo.
We know
So if
exactly.
a homeowner is working with a contractor and they want to call you for the flooring, you can handle that. You work with contractors, no problem.
Oh yeah,
And if you're an insurance repair contractor out there and they need to talk to you, you'll work with them?
yes.
That's even better.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that for a second. So there's a flood in the basement, and let's say they had old carpeting, right? And you have to rip the carpeting out, rip the molding out, rip the shoe out, and they need new flooring. Homeowner wants to do a laminate, but they have to deal through their insurance repair guy.
Yes.
But I hear you today. Can they call you and then you say, "Hey, let me talk to your guy," and you'll work out pricing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. What'll happen is they get an ITEL report, so the insurance company stipulates what goes on and how much they'll pay, and it's based on the flooring that was down there. So what we do is we look at the product and we price it as if we're replacing that, so that we can maximize your dollars, and we see things differently than many of the contractors and specifically the insurance companies will, because we know what it takes to replace that floor.
Insurance companies don't want to pay. They're
No,
deny, delay, DD, right? Deny and delay, deny, delay.
Yeah.
So you are paying insurance every year for the fact that if something happens, it gets to replace like, kind, and quality.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We go back to them all the time. And I have no problem going back to them and saying, hey, this is what it's going to take us to replace this floor. This is what it's going to take to replace that floor today. Because costs do go up. I mean, we see increases, and unfortunately we have to pass them along. And in our industry, we pass them along to the insurance company. So we maximize your dollars. And we don't have any problem talking to those insurance companies and getting you as many dollars as we can.
Which is the way it should be. You're fighting for the homeowner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And of course,
stand
listen,
up for our homeowners.
I never understood why the insurance. I mean, I get it. Why they're fighting against getting ripped off. They're fighting against overpaying. They're trying to lower the amount of the loss. I get it. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this: with all the coronavirus, clean, neat, wipe this and that. Do you recommend a hard surface floor for things like that, or does it matter? If you had anybody questioning, asking?
No one's really questioned just yet, but it's, it's a great thing. I spent 36 years in the construction industry before I moved into the flooring business. And when I was a log home and timber frame builder, we would teach healthy housing. You've got hard surface everywhere.
I love
care of it.
I want to, it's so funny. You built log homes.
Oh yeah.
I want to do that. But I always wondered when, like, the real log homes, where the logs, like the Lincoln logs, where the notches and they sit. How do you seal between the logs?
Well, every manufacturer is different.
What was a typical sealer that would air
They
infiltrate?
use foam.
Foam. Okay.
Yeah, they would use
And foam lasts.
It's the locking system between the logs that they use. There's so many intricacies that go into it, and everybody has their own technology. I mean, you can spend years researching your log home before you build it. Because some log homes, they'll shrink. They move up and down. They have
so there's movement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was wondering about that. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Move 6 inches.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about flooring, maybe a few log homes questions sprinkled in there. And if you have a question, text us 97136. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. I want to thank everyone for listening, tuning into my show today. You got a question, text me 97136. We'll help you. Always help you. Adam, what's the typical cost to renovate a master bathroom in a condo? Craig from Novi. It's a good question, Craig. Average bathroom remodel master bath, which is a little bit bigger than a powder room, you're going to spend 15, 20 grand on a low average. It can go way up from there, but we have some really, really good bathroom contractors. If you need help, just go to hiredone.com. We'll help you. Like to have my patio door installed in a place that does not have a door currently. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, we have contractors who will break through the brick siding. They'll put a header in. They'll put all that in for you. Just go to hiredone.com. J&E Services, they do that. But anyways, we'll help you out. So here's the deal, my friends. You are hiring a contractor. You're all excited. You roll your sleeves up. You get all excited. And you start off the job gung-ho. Contractor starts in demo. 3-4 days later, no calls. No one shows up. There's a mess. Water's dripping out of the bathroom faucet that they demoed. You're scratching your head and you're like all excited. And the next thing you start to think, you're starting to sweat. You're like, uh-oh, maybe the guy's not coming back. He's not returning calls. What's going on? Well, we never want this to happen, but there's going to be a time when you may have to fire your contractor. There may be a time you might have to call an attorney. There may be a time where you may have to really think about this. But anyways, here's the deal. Joining me in the Hire It Done studio is Eric Glick from the Glick Law Firm and a longtime friend of Hire It Done and myself personally. Welcome, Eric.
Morning, Adam. It's good to be here.
Good. Thanks for coming in, brother.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
So you've been an attorney how long now?
About 23 years.
Boy.
Yep.
My man.
Time flies.
Yeah, that is. All right, let's get right down to it. You've been a sharp attorney. I've known you a long time. You've helped me. You've helped contractors. Mm-hmm. You and I keep our finger on the pulse of the law when it comes to contracting.
Right.
But you do contractors for homeowners and homeowners. You do both ways.
Yeah, if you know the law, then the law is the same for the most part, whether you're talking about commercial, whether you're talking about residential, and whether you're talking about representing the property owner or the contractor or the subcontractors or materials or equipment providers. It's all the same law.
Well, I have a special case I want to give you to. We have a plumber, great plumber. His name is Ron Alexander, Shelby Mechanical. Mm-hmm. He's doing work for, all over Hire It Done. He does great work. They love him. We love him. But he's got a management company that's messing with him. Mm-hmm. And he needs your help. Will you help out?
Of course.
I want to go guns a-blazing after these people.
Management companies can be great or they can be horrible. It's
they
like
don't pay.
Anything else.
I want the money for this guy.
Right.
And we're going to use the radio show to help get it. So
okay.
Ron, Hire It Done and the attorneys to the rescue. You just make sure you understand that, Ron. We're coming after him. We're going to take care of business for you. Anyways, homeowner has a problem with the contractor. What's the first advice we give?
Well, boy, in the example you gave, there's a lot of things going on that come to my mind. First is, you got to have a good contract. You got to have everything specified. All the scope of work, you want to be really specific.
Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Saturday morning Corona edition. We're talking with Brian Ritter from Dedicated Floor Covering. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you, Adam.
So, Dedicated Floor Covering obviously is in the flooring business. Homeowners are thinking about doing new flooring. Let's say they call you, and do you come to their house? What do you, Brian? What would you do? Would you come to the house, have them meet you, or what's the easiest way?
We like to come to the home.
Yeah,
And
measure it and get it and show them some samples right there.
I talk to them. When you call, first of all, when you call Dedicated Flooring, you deal with me direct as the owner.
Perfect.
So you're dealing directly with me. And what I like to do is, just get a feel for what you're looking for, what you're trying to do, and then bring samples over to your house. And I'll bring multiple samples. I'll come over several times if I need to.
That's even better. So will you measure it up for people and do it all, get it priced right there?
We get it measured up. And, I have to go back to the office and put the estimate together and everything. But what we like to do is, in some instances, we're providing you with a budget so that you can see. You know, if you choose this floor, this is what we can do. If you choose this floor, this is what we can do. And it's about putting that client. I mean, one of the biggest things about meeting a client in their home and showing things to them in their home is, one, you get to see them where they're going to go in their natural environment. And two, it allows me to understand what they're looking at and what they're trying to accomplish and fit them into the best product for their lifestyle.
Makes sense.
So important.
Now, listen, we're talking coronavirus right now. Have you had any homeowners say, I don't want you to come to my house because of that? Or, business is still going to be business. And for anyone out there thinking, better be safe than sorry, listen, be careful, of course. But the home improvement guys have to come to your house to measure it up and all that. So, you might have that conversation ahead of time. Just say, look, here's the deal. Don't get within 6 feet of me.
I believe in personal hygiene. So my mom always taught me to wash my hands.
Right. I mean, look, we got the Lysol going on here right now.
Right.
I got the Lysol wipes. I got everything in my
You're
studio.
ready to go over there, Adam.
Are you kidding me? Look, I got even off-brand disinfectant wipes. We're good, man.
Ready to go.
This is, hired.
Do those have aloe vera in them? Is that
This
what
one,
that is?
This one kills 99% of bacteria. Kills cold and flu virus, mold and mildew. It doesn't. Let's see. Active ingredients: octyl dimethyl ammonium chloride. Ooh.
Well, I was just thinking with the green, it might be getting ready for summer with a little aloe vera.
Yeah, no, maybe I don't look at the. I can't look at the other thing, but we're talking about hand wipes. Just so everyone knows. And by the way, before coronavirus, just so everyone is clear, I'm the OCD guy. I was always wiping down the studio. I was spraying, like I have my own mini Lysol. I already knew coronavirus was killed by Lysol, which is okay.
Adam's always had the politically correct Corona handshake.
No, I'm a prepper.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a prepper. Listen, I have meals ready to eat. I've got plenty of toilet paper. I've got enough Purell and enough hand sanitizer, enough water. I am ready.
We should always be diligent. I mean,
well, listen, better safe than sorry. I'm so ready that I actually flying my son home from college ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't cancel his classes, and I was already got flights. Then they obviously canceled. Everyone's canceling, but I'm bringing him home. I don't have to drive to Boston. I got a flight.
There you go.
By the way, flights are so cheap. Unbelievably cheap.
I just came back from California, and I'm looking at going back again because it was like $43 one way.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's
nuts. It
nuts.
was unbelievable. So, all right, so let's talk about flooring. So, luxury vinyl tile, what's popular, like color-wise? Is there any colors that you see everyone's gravitating towards? Is it the gray?
Well, the browns, the grays, there's a lot of warm gray that has a little bit of brown in it.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. The paints as well. Yeah. Gray is transitioning towards vanilla/brown, little bit of a yellow banana-ish. It's going that way. There's a transition, I notice.
Yeah.
So I see it in flooring too. Good.
Well, and what's nice, though, too, is many of these manufacturers that have multiple lines with their carpet and their LVTs and their laminate floors, those luxury vinyl tiles, they're matching them up. So if you have multiple surfaces in your home, they now have color lines that flow right together with one another.
Really? You can transition a color?
Well, you can transition so that way your surfaces, like if you want carpet in that bedroom and you've got that vinyl tile or that laminate floor running down your hall, you can transition, and the color palette is in that carpet and in that floor. So you make these seamless transitions. So you can go from hard surface to soft surface. You can change your hard surfaces. and
Whoa.
all those color palettes are the same.
Where do I
So
get to
you
see
can-
that?
You can. Well,
Online?
can-
They have it. Are you have it in your showroom? Or-
we have. Well, we're establishing our new showroom.
You're in the middle of building it.
We're in the middle of building it.
Cool.
Yes, they've never had a showroom before, and we just thought, this would be a great time to establish a showroom. It's strictly referral, and it's all private. It's by appointment, so you're not in there. Corona-wise, we fit right in. I mean, we were ahead of the curve because it's by appointment. So you can.
So you just
come
invite
in,
people in. Okay, that's smart.
one-on-one interaction. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay, I love this transition idea. So let's go into a typical house foyer. You walk into the foyer, and there's a hallway straight down into the kitchen area.
Sure.
That hallway's laminate flooring. But then as I go from the hallway into the kitchen, I want to transition the hard floor, same surface,
Yes.
luxury vinyl tile, but I want to transition the color. So I can go like a brown, and then I can transition to a gray.
You can change anything.
Ooh, I'm liking that.
And then you can have a carpet in your family room, which has
Similar color.
similar colors. Yeah, and you can make all.
Now,
those
if I'm
colors
like
function together.
design inhibited,
Yeah,
can you help with design colors? You have people, and you guys, you're good at that.
if you don't mind my opinion.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
but yes, I can absolutely.
A lot of people
Yeah,
say,
be
"Well, I have a
happy to-
white cabinet, and I got this kind of granite. I need flooring to complement."
Well, and what I'll do is and that's one of the reasons we like to meet in your home, because you may not be changing your kitchen cabinets. You
Right.
might only be changing your floor.
Right, you do a
So
lot of
what
that.
we need to do, and you like that paint color, and you want to stay with that. Well, let's take a look at your home.
Right,
And let's put those warm colors in there, and let's put those inviting colors in there. And
Makes-
we can help you with that.
that's smart. We're talking with Brian Ritter. He's the owner of Dedicated Floor Covering out of Troy, Michigan. The website, dedicatedfloorcovering.com. Can't get any easier than that. The number, 248-583-0103, in case you want to get an estimate for some flooring. So how busy are you? Like if someone calls you this week, say, I heard you on the radio, I'm looking at flooring, you come out there, they say yes. Are you a couple weeks backed up or 6 weeks? What is the timeline?
No, we're usually never 6 weeks. I mean, it takes it takes anywhere between 5 and 10 days, depending on when we order that material.
Okay, so you got to order it, then it comes in.
We don't keep it in stock because we only offer brand new product to clients.
Right.
So what's on the market and what's available. So we order per project for
Smart.
that specific home. Usually takes 5 to 10 days to get into our warehouse, and so we can have your floor in usually within 2 to 3 weeks.
Now, let me ask you a question. I got a house. Give me a typical scenario.
Sure.
The floor squeaks a little, and it's not so level. I'm pulling up carpet. There's some pee stains from the old animals and blah, 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 blah. But I want a fresh new floor. I got to get some leveling done. I want to get rid of the squeaks. I heard you on the radio. I need you to come over. Are you the guy for that?
Just give me a call.
No problem.
I have, like I'd mentioned before, I've got 36 years in the construction industry. I know.
So you understand the joist. You understand screwing down, gluing down.
screwing down, gluing them, shimming them,
Floor
from
level.
underneath, the floor leveling. We always, a lot of people will go in and they just put the floor leveler down, thinking that it sticks to the floor. No, you have to put the primer down. If it's one thing we don't do, we don't cut corners. We do it the right way, or we're just not going to do it.
Well, that's the whole point. No one wants that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just comes back. You're not happy. I'm not happy because I'm coming back. We want to do it the right way. We make sure. And with my background, we can pinpoint and look at many of those things that are going to occur so that we can provide you with the best product.
Which is the best way to do it. That's why when I checked you guys out and did your pre-screening, the reviews and the customers were raving about you. And I also like that you service other contractors. So if you're a contractor as well and you need a floor guy to help you with flooring, give Brian Ritter from Dedicated Floor Covering a call. Completely services both homeowner and contractor, which is smart. If you have a flood in your house and you're getting paid for flooring, give him a call because he understands the insurance 10 and 10, Xactimate, the language.
We'll talk directly to your insurance agent on your behalf,
Yeah.
and we'll help you out.
Now, you do all other flooring too, though.
Oh, yeah. We do carpet, hardwood.
Pre-finished hardwood still popular too?
Pre-finished hardwood,
It's
not
expensive.
as popular. Well, you've got the laminate floors and the vinyl floors, which
It's
are
killing
taking
them.
over.
I love those.
And I'll tell you, I went to a flooring show just the other week.
Yeah.
You put them down on the floor, the look is
You
amazing.
can't even tell, I know.
No, you can't.
Brian, time's up. It goes so fast.
Adam,
Thanks for coming on, man.
thank you so much. It was great to see you.
Dedicated
Thank you.
floor covering. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We'll see you around the next minute. We've got John Cox from Prep Right Painting, paintmichigan.com in studio. If you have a painting question this morning, text us 97136. John, if someone wants to call you today to get an estimate, you have a phone number they can call?
Yeah, our phone number is 734-416-1400.
734-416-1400. Always go to there, call them, or paintmichigan.com, or you can always just go to hireitdone.com. We'll send you John right away. John, so is there trends? Like, you've been painting over 15 years now. So are there any color trends that you see in the last year or so? Like, what's 2020 prediction for, like, the hot color?
The hottest colors right now are the grays, the blue grays. A lot of variations of black are really popular. I was skeptical about it, but people are doing it, and it's looking really good.
All right, well, that's a good way to know. So, yeah, I see gray as an interior popular color as well. And then it's starting, I'm seeing a little bit of trends. I think like vanilla, yellows, a little bit towards chocolate. I don't know if that's me way being ahead of the scale, but I've been seeing a
Or
lot of that.
behind the times. Isn't that an 80s color, the chocolate?
What's old is new, right?
That's right.
Well, the chocolate was in the 80s. This year they call it Nutella.
Oh, okay.
It's the foo-foo fancy word.
That's right.
Okay, so if somebody wants a paint job, they call you up. Now, what about inside, outside? Do you have different painters for the exterior and the interior? Because you just finished that beautiful condo in Birmingham. The guys, you had your crew in there. They were so good. That lady's bragging about you everywhere.
Yeah, I take pride in my painters. Every painter that I have can do just as good of a job inside your house as outside of your house. And that's why I tell people we excel at exteriors, is because I'm putting interior custom painters on the outside of people's houses. My painters love working outside. It's their favorite time of year is the summer season. You know, they're outside and they get to work in the sunshine. They're not cooped up in a house.
Good. I like that. So let me ask you this. When you outside a house on a paint job, I've noticed that a lot of houses haven't even been power washed. Power washing is a big, important prep step sometimes, isn't it?
Sometimes, and that's the key word, is that it's not always necessary. And it seems that a lot of painters just automatically say, oh, I'm going to power wash everything. Well, Sherwin-Williams and the other paint companies say that in a lot of cases, you don't need to power wash prior to painting. So that's something that I do when I go out there to inspect, is this a job that we're going to need to power wash on? And if we do, absolutely. But why should I charge somebody to power wash a house that doesn't need to be power washed?
I love that. So what constitutes yes or no for power washing? Do you like a visual inspection? You can say, there's dirt built up, or what do you do?
It is almost exclusively a visual inspection. That what I don't ever want to do is replace scraping with power washing. And I see so many other painting companies do that, where they tell customers, oh, we're going to power wash and that's going to get the loose paint off your house. It doesn't get all of the loose paint off your house, and I never want to use power washing to replace scraping.
Okay. So scraping paint obviously is part of the prep work.
Right.
Okay. Power washing is to clean it. I've had houses that I've seen power wash. They look great. They're like, it shines it up and everything. But I also live on a dirt road. So like for me, you get the dust in the summer and over years it builds up. So I would say my house would probably need power washing.
Right. Exactly. So almost every house that's off of a dirt road is going to get power washed prior to painting. We don't want to paint over a bunch of dust, dirt, and debris.
I gotcha. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense to me. Well, that's cool. So that was the other thing. Now, what about like if someone says, my house is in good shape, I want to power wash my deck? You guys power wash, don't you?
Yeah, we do power washing, carpentry, painting.
Okay. So I want to have you come back in the spring, like April, like because I want to do a whole show on just deck prep and power washing. You'll come on for that, won't you?
Absolutely.
So, but if someone wants to power wash their deck this spring, they can call you and you can do that.
Yeah, we can do just power washing.
And then how about staining?
Absolutely, we can do staining. That's what we're best at.
Cheaper to combine it, power wash and stain a deck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get a better deal if we're doing it all at once. And many times when people call me and tell me that they've power washed their own deck and all they need us to do is come out and stain, that we still need to power wash the deck.
You want to clean it.
Right. What a customer considers power washing and what we consider power washing aren't the same thing.
Makes sense. Yeah, I need remember that. I need my my deck power wash. So remind me. I have solid stain and I didn't put it on right. I had one of my guys, handyman, do it and he messed it all up.
Solid stain is often done
It's
wrong.
peeling and bubbling.
Right.
Yeah, and it's cedar deck, but what a mistake. Anyways, I learned my lesson. Even I'm not perfect. How about them apples? I should have just called you. So you also work with some of the contractors that hire it done.
Yes.
Tittle Brothers, I know, who calls me and says you do a lot of work with him.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I'm going out to look at a job for Greg Tittle today.
He's one of our roofers. And so you and Greg Tittle Brothers Construction, are the two oldest hire it done contractors.
Right.
He started like a couple months before you. But you guys are both like my first clients, and it's been every year.
Yeah, but I've been nicer to you.
Well, no, clearly Greg is bipolar. He goes, I get screamed at by him once a month, and then he loves me the next month. So it's an up and down, but they're the best. If you want a roof that doesn't leak.
I always tell my customers that if you want your roof done right, that you should call Tittle Brothers.
He's done. He's great. Yeah, and that's the best part. What I like about him is he stands behind his work unequivocally. If there's ever an issue.
They did my roof.
Okay, there you go. Boom.
Yeah.
So you understand. So is painting pricing wise? I see like decks always got expensive. I see that brickwork is concrete work. Everything's out of control. Paint doesn't seem to be unaffordable. It seems to be like it's pretty stable.
Painting is the most cost-effective way to protect your house and make it look good. When you compare the cost of replacement windows to painting your windows every 10 to 15 years, it's amazing. I mean, you could paint your windows on your house for the next 40 years and not come close to the cost of replacing just the windows on your house.
Which is important. So there's the best part about it. So painting doesn't have to be expensive.
No, it doesn't. Although we can make it expensive if people want.
No, of course.
But
now, that's what I wanted to ask you. Cheap paint versus expensive paint. You're a Sherwin-Williams guy, right?
yes.
Okay, so Sherwin-Williams, good company. Good paint. But if you take their best paint, which is the Emerald, is that their best, I think?
Emerald is their best, but they've got something even better coming out this spring that we're super excited about.
Okay, so let's just use what's available now. If you don't apply it properly, it's no good, right?
That's correct. When the best paint is applied poorly, it's still going to fail.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. So it's just as important to have the right painter putting the good paint on.
Right.
I'm going to buy the good stuff. What's the point of buying the good stuff if it's not installed properly? That's half the battle, my opinion. You share
Right.
that? You agree?
Definitely.
Okay, so and your guys are all experienced. Now, are you hiring?
Yes, I'm always looking for good painters or paint crews.
If you're out there, you're a good painter, and you're looking to upgrade and increase your job satisfaction, I would say you should work for John Cox.
Yeah, when painters
Good morning. This is the Hired Done Radio Show. My name's Adam Helfman. I'm your host. Got a jam-packed hour home improvement coming your way. Are you keeping things clean? Are you social distancing? If you want to listen and watch us on Facebook Live, you can see I'm surrounded by Lysol, Clorox wipes. I got everything in the studio. I'm bear down. I'm Corona ready. Anyways, listen, better safe than sorry. Think about it. All it takes is a little bit of common sense, which I know is not easy, and I want everyone to practice common sense. But I want you to understand that this is serious. Let's just, if we all work together and everyone is a little bit smart, we'll beat this. What they say, keep the curve low? We don't want it to spike. I'm kind of like that. I'm into that. And of course, keeping your house clean is important. Anyways, home improvement is busy. People that need a contractor are looking for the good ones, and the good ones are busy. So you got to be patient. You got to understand that it's proper planning. And now's the best time to plan your home improvement. You can't go to Disney World. You can't fly. I mean, you can, but you can't. You're going to go in and out, grab some food at the grocery store. Don't worry about toilet paper. Although I just saw a great picture. Guy, they're out of toilet paper, but they have plenty of paper towel. Just take your paper towel rolls and cut them in half. You got toilet paper. Perfect. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. You're welcome. I want everyone to know I just solved you a lot of big headaches. Paper towel rolls, cut them in half. Toilet paper solved. Anyways, I'm going to spend a few minutes running down the top 5 most popular home improvement projects. Number 1, kitchen remodel. Realtors always say that kitchens sell houses. It does. Curb Appeal sells houses. Well, kitchens are king in the home improvement space. It's a fact of life. Almost everyone complains about their kitchen until it's new. I've talked to many homeowners who either moved because they wanted a new kitchen or decided to remodel their kitchen instead of moving. Here's what happens. You go get invited to a friend's house. You hang out. Dinner party, whatever. Watch a game. Sports. Is sports still a thing? Oh, that's right. This is the sports station. Of course it is. Anyways, your friends have a brand new kitchen. You're like, oh my God, look at this granite. Look at this stainless steel cooktop. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, guess what? Yeah, it's good stuff, friends. You want a kitchen too. So kitchens involve a lot of work, a lot of planning, and a lot of professionalism. We have the best kitchen people here at Hired Done, as you know. Hard Rock Stoneworks. They rock. Got a couple good ones. Seggy. My man, Jim Seggy. Renovation by Design. There's a lot. Anyways, kitchen remodels are like the top when it comes to home improvements. Number 2, bathroom remodels. Of course, bathroom remodels. One of the most consistently popular home renovation projects is a bathroom. They yield an average of 85% return. Investment, and it's adds to the resale. So if you think about it, when you consider the value of enjoying a new bathroom, the return is well over 100%. And that's what I'm telling you, the enjoyment value. What is that worth? What's it worth for your own toilet? That's a heated seat. Tell me, right? It's the best part. Anyways, kitchen remodel number 1. Number 2, bathroom remodel. Here's number 3. Y'all going to laugh, but it's the truth. A roof. Think about it, my friends. A roof is not a do-it-yourself project. Most people don't do roofs themselves, as we all know. In Hired Done, we have the best roofers. If it's near the end of its life expectancy, it's a high dollar investment. The average roof is over 10 grand today. But it's a necessary repair that all homeowners will have to plan for. It's no surprise to see roofing high on the list. And one of the contractors that I recently dealt with, Kangaroo, they told me that majority, over 80% of the new roofs they're putting on this week, last week, this year, 80% of them are roofs that are only 10, 12 years old. What does that tell you? That's why it's so important, my friends, to get a roof that doesn't leak. You got to hire a contractor that knows what they're doing. Think about it. Now, When a roofer comes to your house to sell your roof, when a kitchen guy, a bathroom guy comes to your house to sell a roof, the flooring guy, like dedicated flooring, they come to your house. Let me say this. Invite them in. They're not going to bring diseases. They're going to be clean like you are. Be smart about it. Anyways, it's not hard. So the top 3 home improvements: kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, roof replacements. Here's another one. Insulation. And this is obviously last month. A lot of people are putting insulation in their homes. Perfect time to add insulation in your home. It's all year round, actually. It's not freezing out, so it's not a huge issue to let the contractors open up the house and do what they need to do. But it's still cold at night. And here's the thing. Insulation keeps the heat in your house longer. In the summertime, it keeps the cool inside your house longer. That's how it saves energy. Your air conditioning or heater works less because of insulation. Properly installed. Key words, properly. That's the difference. You put insulation in your attic and you blow it in and you plug all the vents, you just ruined everything. And then, of course, March is the kickoff for concrete season. The 5th one that we're getting a ton of responses for, requests, concrete. You want concrete that doesn't crack, come to Hire It Done. Literally, I have the best concrete guys. And we're going to do a big, big concrete blowout this year. You want your walkway, your patio, concrete, we got it. Brick pavers, too. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. By the way, there's 3 guarantees in home improvement: death, taxes, and change orders. That's right. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you how to prevent change orders from derailing your project. Change orders coming up next. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Good morning to everyone. Great Saturday morning, I guess. You ever have a question, home improvement, give me a call or text me 97136. Email me, adam@hireitdone.com. So it's time for that classic question. Do you do it yourself or do you hire it done? Think about that. You see, from the neck down, I'm worth minimum wage. So I'm not the do-it-yourselfer. However, I'm not anti-do-it-yourself. Let's make it very clear to my friends. I am pro do-it-for-me, right? So this is important. I'm Mr. Hire It Done, so I'm not doing anything myself. Not that I'm better. I just don't want to. I'd rather hire it done. I'd rather hire a pro. But I know there are plenty of folks out there who are handier than I am and might want to consider tackling a tough job on their own. The job I'm talking about today is the one that I actually think is pretty tough, and that's replacing old plumbing. I was just in a house in Round Lake with somebody the other day, and all the plumbing is like PVC, galvanized. It was nothing. Oh, it was terrible. It's a big disaster. But I don't want it. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 pipes. I'm talking about retrofitting your entire house. Usually the reason to do this project is that you have an older home, galvanized pipes, obviously. And let's talk about why you might want to replace your galvanized pipes. So why are you getting rid of galvanized pipes? Let's talk about it. If your house is old enough to have galvanized pipes, the potential exists that they could be contaminating your water. That's right, contaminating. No one wants dirty water. Until 1986, manufacturers used naturally occurring zinc that contained impurities such as lead. Oy, L-E-A-D, that's a 4-letter word. Lead. It's like mold. There's some pretty bad 4-letter words. Anyways, they used lead in the galvanizing process, right? With today's emphasis on health and clean water, that's the reason, though, many homeowners want to replace their old pipes. But there's a lot of other reasons as well. Galvanized pipes tend to corrode from the inside, kind of like an artery getting clogged up. And, of course, the gradual reduction in the internal cross-section restricts your water flow. So if you have low water pressure, you have galvanized pipes, I can guarantee I know why. You'll see this reflected in if you have a faucet with low pressure, like we just said. The other reason is that galvanized pipes in the fittings eventually rust and begin to leak. If any leaks are behind the walls, it causes considerable damage, including mold, before you discover them. So you got to be careful. Now, what do you replace galvanized pipes with today? There's a couple options. You got PEX. You got copper. The most popular, the fastest growing is PEX. But copper's still a valuable one. It's expensive copper. PVC I don't recommend as much as far as supply lines because they're not desirable. PEX is the best one. But I'm not going to go into weighing what pros and cons of each one right now. But here's the thing. So how do you start? Where do you start? What are you going to do? Well, the process of removing pipes behind the walls and under floors can seem pretty daunting. And you may be tempted to leave some of them in place. Don't do that. If you're going to replace them all. One little pipe that's blocked or clogged is going to stop everything else. So horizontal, vertical pipes, you got to get them all. Now, if they're behind the wall, what do you do? How do you do it? That's the key, and that's the question. So it's important that you figure that out. The other thing is the fittings, the transitions. If you think about that, connections. When you have dissimilar items or dissimilar materials, you get a reaction. That's another problem. So you need to run off. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Yes, the inevitable. So when you're hiring a contractor and you're in the middle of the project or you're in the middle of putting the project together, whatever the timeline is, you need to make sure that whoever you're dealing with in your contract or whoever your contractor is, you need to have a discussion with them about change orders. And it's important that you have this discussion because whether you think so or not, change orders are going to happen. What they are is a necessary evil, okay? Whether you want it requested by you or whether it's something that was a latent defect, change orders are always going to be part of your job. So let's create a scenario so that we can give you the idea what a change order is. And by the way, if you have a question for me while we're doing this, text me 97136. We're talking about things that interrupt the rhythm of the job. Obviously, it's change orders is the number one thing right now. So what is a change order? A change order is a change or an alteration to the project that you paid for. So let's go with a bathroom remodel. You hired a contractor to gut your bathroom to the studs. You hired the guy to put a new tub in, tile the walls, tile the floor, new vanity, new toilet, paint, new exhaust fan, and you're good up. You're off to the races. So that's the scenario. Bathroom remodel, you signed a contract, $15,000. Boom. So the conversation that a great contractor should have with you is this. Mrs. Jones, thank you for the business. We're about to start the job. The toilet, the tile, it's all been on order. And once it arrives, we're going to do the demo and we're going to go start to finish on your project. Should be good. Now, that's a contractor that you want to deal with. Now, here's the next level contractor. So, Mrs. Jones, let's talk about what are some of the things that could slow this project down. Let's talk about some of the things that could create a delay. Oh, what's that, Mr. Contractor? Well, it's called a change order. And change orders come in two forms. One, a requested change, and one that's unplanned. Ooh, what do you mean unplanned? Okay, well, let's talk about your bathroom. And this is where the better contractor comes in. Mrs. Jones, I've been a contractor for 30 years. And over my span of 30 years of experience, when I do bathroom remodels, quite often, when we do the demo, we find out that some of the plywood underneath the toilet, some of the plywood underneath the tub or the vanity over the years, because of leaks, because of high moisture, we found out that there's rotted plywood and we may have to replace plywood. Now, in the contract we've signed, I didn't charge you for new plywood. So once we do the demo, we'll know. So there's a chance, Mrs. Homeowner, that you're going to pay extra money for new plywood. But we won't know till we demo. Okay, Mrs. Homeowner? As a homeowner, you should thank him. Mr. Contractor, thanks for letting me know. Because that's him telling you there's a potential for more money to be spent. That's what we call an unplanned change order. Now, let's go to the planned change order. On demo, I want you to, I want you to sister up the joists. I want new plywood on the floor. That's a change order that you've planned, right? So those are the types of change orders. Now, why do you need them? Well, you need them because one of them is you don't want the guy to put the floor back without over-rotted plywood. You want to replace the plywood. That's number one. Number two, you may find that you want to replace the toilet location. You want to move it 6-8 inches over. In order to move a toilet 6-8 inches over, let's say there's room in your bathroom, you've got to change the drain. Or maybe an offset drain, but you still have to change something. That change stops the job. That change interrupts the rhythm of the work. Think about what I'm telling you, my friends. The key here is, what do? You accept the change, you pay the interruption fee, and you understand that the job's going to go longer. That's the key for change orders. Yes, they're a necessary evil in a lot of the projects. You have a question this morning? Text me 97136. Hey, Adam, just heard you say cut a paper towel roll in half and use it for toilet paper. I was told not to use that in a septic system or just in case it's true. Might want to bring it up to your listeners. John, thank you. Yes. In an emergency, cut the toilet paper or the paper towel in half. But you're not long term. And yes, those toilet paper rolls and flush down the toilet. It's worse than toilet paper. However, it'll work. It's only in emergencies. You're not going to do that on a regular basis. Also, I'm a wipe guy. I use wipes all my whole life. I love wipes. They say flushable, and I have a septic field. Yes, they're not great for septic field. That's why I add the enzymes to my septic system. However, the guy comes once a year and pumps it out, and the same thing he says every year. Oh, my God, your septic field's full of wipes. You got to stop. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I better stop. I don't stop. I still use the wipes. I'm a wipe guy. I can't wait, though, for my new toilet. Kohler's got a toilet that wipes your butt. I'm going to definitely get it. I got the heated seat right now, but I want the one that wipes your butt. The hot water. Yeah, maybe I'll do a Facebook Live, and we'll be on the whole time on a toilet. That would be a good one. I'm going to bring the toilet in the studio. I'm going to do a Facebook Live, the whole show on the toilet. Not a bad idea. So how does a change order affect your project? And by the way, text me 97136 if you have a question. Here's one. I do poured foundations. People change things all the time. Add windows, move windows, more brick ledge, less brick ledge, add beam pockets. Change orders are a big deal in our kind of business. Happens daily. You know what? I never thought of that in foundations. It's true. They want to add, they want to do this. I want to do an extra window. It does. Does change orders, you think, if you're a contractor listening, text me 97136. How do you handle change orders? I'd like to know what a contractor does. Because I advise homeowners to understand that when you have a change in the work, it delays it no matter what, even if it's a paperwork change. Now, there are a lot of contractors who have a change order policy. And that policy is that you understand that if there's a timeline, it's delayed. The timeline's extended if you have a change order, no matter what kind. It's agreeable. Change orders aren't easy. How about when you're remodeling a basement and then you find out that you need an egress window? The contractor didn't include it. You got the wrong contractor, that's for sure. Because an egress window is the code. In fact, we have an expert coming on next, Anthony Iapolo. Easy exit egress windows. I'm so excited. I want to do a video, by the way, on egress windows installation. I got to get my videographer, Keith. He's got to do this video for me. Egress windows. Anyways, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Anthony Iapolo. He's from Easy Exit Egress. And if you have a question, it says you want to use union or non-union. That's a great question. We're going to talk about that when we come back. I'm going to tell you. I like them both, actually. But remodeling in residential is tough. But we're going to talk more. I'm Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Adam Helfman. Great Saturday morning. Thinking about getting your house cleaned up? Thinking about sprucing it up for the spring? Maybe you want some curb appeal. Well, the number one way to get curb appeal is to add colors and paint. But when is it too early to paint on the outside of your house? Exterior paint, is it too much, too hot, too cold? When do you start it? Do you plan it now? Does it make sense? Well, we're going to find all these answers out right now because we've got John Cox from Prep Right Painting in studio. And he's one of the hired done contractors, long-time hired done contractor. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Adam.
How you doing, brother?
I'm great. How are you?
I have not missed any meals.
Well, that's a good thing.
Battling a few health issues, but, listen, everyone has to deal with what they got, and that's me. I'm going to deal with what I got. But let's talk paint. So how long have you been a painter?
We've been in the business for 15 years.
Oh, nice. How long have you been part of Hired Done?
14 years.
How about them apples?
Yes.
So
That's why we're still in business.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So let's talk painting. Let's figure out when a homeowner needs to fix up the outside of the house. They want to paint. It's right now, March 7th. And they're thinking, yeah, we're going to change the color of the outside. They call you up. You come out there. How does that process work when it comes to timing of the year?
Well, the way things are with painting nowadays, if you don't hire a painter by spring, you're not going to get your house painted this summer. That painters, for especially exterior painters, are in high demand. So this is the time to call. We come out, we're going to evaluate everything. We're going to let people know the best way to protect the house. And the first question I ask people when I come out is, how long do you want this paint job to last? Because if somebody's planning on selling the house, they don't need a 15 to 20 year paint job. So we can give people, quick, easy paint jobs. That's not my preference. The name of the company is Prep Right. The prep on the exterior is what makes the paint job last.
Okay, and I'm glad you said it that way. So it's interesting that you ask how long you want the job to last because, listen, the average homeowner spends 7 to 10 years in a house today. So if I say to you, yeah, I'm going to be here another 10 years, you're saying, okay, I'm going to give you a paint job that's going to last. Best way to say it?
Right, exactly. Some people call me because, they've lived in the house for
Welcome back. This is Hired Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Great show this morning. Anyways, think about this. You're thinking about home improvement. You're going through your list. Everyone's going to be working from home. Make your home improvement list. Maybe now's the time to finish your basement. Maybe now's the time to make a home office. I mean, work from home is obviously the trend. Everyone wants to work from home now, right? Safe. I'm with you, man. Be safe. So in studio right now is Anthony Iapolo. He's the owner of Easy Exit Egress Windows. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Adam. Thanks.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Always. Listen, it's a pleasure to have you here. So Anthony says we're in strange times. Would you agree?
Yeah. Stranger by the minute.
Every day. Yeah. So you put in egress windows. Let's tell everyone in the audience right now, what's an egress window?
An egress window for your basement is a window that you can use to escape if there is a fire or an emergency in any part of the home, really. If there's something going on the upper floor that you can't use the stairway to get out, you have access to get out of the basement through another option, which would be the egress window.
So an alternate form of exit.
Yeah, and also an entry point for an emergency fireman to enter through. That's what the code is written around, the sizes.
Oh, so they can get it from the outside?
Yeah, so, they're going to do what they need
They'll
to do to
break
get
through.
in. Yeah, but that might be the safest way that they can enter the house to rescue, and technically if that's where someone is sleeping in the basement, that might be the only way they can get them out of the basement.
Well, yeah, we've seen it on the news in the past where they had these people living in the basement and they couldn't get down upstairs.
Yep.
Guy went to jail for that.
Yeah.
And then, listen, here's the problem. The combination of living in a basement and having only one way to get out, add to that smoke detectors that most people take the batteries out because they chirp and they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for death. And we don't want that, God forbid. So there's codes. And an egress means that a fireman can get in the window, or you could escape and climb out.
Yeah.
So it's bigger. The average basement window is 14 by 28 or something like that.
Yeah, the small window openings that you
Yeah.
have, those glass blocks are usually they're like 32 by 14.
Yeah, something like that. So the question is that area right there, you can take that area, cut it open, and that's where you can put a window.
Yeah, so we can use that as a starting point. Typically, if we use that as a starting point, we're gonna extend that cut down the width. So we're gonna go down
So you're going to go 32 inches wide. keep the
wide,
same width,
and then we're gonna
straight
go down.
And you
Yeah.
got to be how many feet off the floor? Like 40
So-
inches or 30?
The egress window cannot be 40 higher than 44 inches off the floor of the basement.
So when you go from the basement floor up, you can't go higher than 44 before the
Right.
window starts.
Right.
So you can go 36.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So you decide based on the area.
Yeah, so based on, we go in and we measure the height of the basement and the height of the window, whether we have to drop the window underneath floor joists. If we're doing an inward opening casement window, it has to be able to open underneath the floor joists.
Okay, you have a little bit of restriction. So people bring you out, you'll know exactly. Here's what's going to match code. Here's the perfect, your outside bushes. We're going to do this. This is an
Right.
easy way. So you actually set the scenario what they need.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry. I need a window. I want to put it here. Can I do it? You're like, okay, here's the size window I'm going to do. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and if it, sometimes it just can't go in that location. So we'll talk about other possibilities where it could go, what we need to do to make it happen.
Okay, and that's smart. So typically, egress window is if someone's now there's code. Is it have to be if you're putting a bedroom in the basement? Does the window have to be in the bedroom, or could it be in the basement?
Technically, it has to be in the bedroom. If you're putting a sleeping bedroom, sleeping.
I'm
room,
moving my teen downstairs. I'm going to put him down there. That's where he's living after
Yeah.
college or whatever.
Then it needs to be in
the actual sleeping area.
In the actual sleeping area.
So then, if you have one location to put the window in, then that's where the sleeping area has to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if I don't have kids living downstairs? I just have like a pool table. I got the couch. I got the spring.
So technically, the way the
new
code
code
is right now, if you're just putting that in the basement, you don't need an egress window. But in 2013, since 2013, every new home built has an egress window in it.
Is the code?
So the older homes, if you remodel your basement or just putting some drywall up, making a great room, and you're not sleeping down there, the code states that you don't need an egress window. But a lot of municipalities are suggesting that you do it
Right.
because it's
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah,
Now,
you're
is it expensive?
not comparable to some of your other projects. I mean, we're looking at somewhere between $35,000 and $4,000.
So that's not bad
typically.
at all. No. And that's the thing. For anyone out there who's listening, think about this, friends. The staycation is becoming a reality. Work from home is becoming a reality. Now's the time to look at your house and fix it up. If you're thinking about turning your basement into a work center or an office, how smart is it right now to get the contractors? Because I know, listen, good contractors are busy. However, with what's going on in the world, who knows how busy they're going to be. I'm sure there's deals to be had. Now, the actual construction Anthony. We're talking with Anthony Iapolo. He's the owner of Easy Exit Windows. Easy Exit Egress Windows, excuse me. The website is egresswindowinstallation.com, which is easy. Or just go to Hire It Done. I'll send it to you. That's how easy it goes. Is it a vinyl window? Is it a casement? Is it a double hung? What's the actual window?
So the actual window is that we install most is a vinyl window. It's a single hung window so that the bottom sash can open up and down. You can get fresh air into the basement. Use it like a regular window, and hopefully you never have to use it to escape. But if you do, it is an inward opening window like a casement. It's not crankable. You just open a latch
And pull it.
out, and you have the clear space to escape then.
Smart. Okay, so it's a double hung that goes up, or single hung, go up and down. So the bottom part slides up and down.
Yep, yeah.
But then if you have to get out, there's a handle. You switch the handle and pull, and then the whole thing opens.
Yep.
Bam.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, is there a little staircase to jump up, or is it typically you can just knee up and go out?
So typically, you can knee up. If the person, there's always a little ledge, that's there when we install it because the concrete's 10 inches, so the window sets back in it. But if you're finishing it out, it can be cased in. Once you finish a wall into it, there's always something to step out to get out.
If anyone has a window question, egress window question about the basement leaks, if you have an egress, you're not sure if it's the right one, call us. Text us 97136. We've got Anthony Iapolo in studio. We'll answer your questions. Easy Exit Egress Windows. So an egress window take a day to put in, 2 days. What's the average timeline?
Typically, it's a day operation. When we can, if it's easy access to the work site and everything.
That always has a big impact.
Yeah, we start out in the morning, and by the end of the day, we have an egress installed in your house and wrapped up.
Interesting. What about when houses, you come to a house, and I know, listen, not every foundation's perfect. Now, is it easier to do in a block foundation or a poured foundation, or you don't matter?
It doesn't matter, but they both have different challenges. Sometimes block can get a little wonky. When you're
they're toothed in,
cutting it. But some of the older
have you ever had block that's full of water?
No, usually. So part of when we go and look at a job, we kind of look and see if there's been any kind of water issues or any kind of problems with the foundation or anything. And usually, if it's holding water, you can tell because eventually it's holding water, and then eventually it's leaking into your basement floor as it comes through the rest of the wall.
So that's the thing. What about when you come to a house and all of a sudden you see water, basement foundation leaks? Do you tell the homeowner, like, this is Mrs. Jones, I'm gonna put this egress window in, but I'm telling you there's leaks everywhere. I don't want you coming back to me and saying, hey, you got leaks or whatever. What do you do?
So we go through all that. If they've ever had any problems, if there's a situation that they don't know about, sometimes I'll tell them that they need to have someone come and look at it that knows more about foundations, more of like a leak.
So what if it's leaking in the area you're going to do the window? You'll just stop and say, listen, you got a leak here. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, we'll try to determine the source of the leak, and if it's something that needs to be addressed before we do the window, we tell them you'd have to get this so-and-so fixed, or if it's something that we can do the window, and then it can be like sometimes in a concrete wall, you can have a small crack that's opened up. Sometimes it can be injected before we do it, or it can be injected after we do it.
Got it.
The good thing is a lot of times when you have like a crack, the water's being pushed through by the ground. The pressure.
You relieve that pressure and it changes it.
When we dig that out and put stone there, the water has a place
I want to talk
drain.
about that when we take a break. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about how you do get the water away and what you've discovered, any treasures in the past. Okay. I'm Adam Helpman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. I want to thank everyone for listening and tuning into my show today. You got a question? Text me 97136. We'll help you. Always help you. Adam, what's the typical cost to renovate a master bathroom in a condo? Craig from Novi. That's a good question, Craig. Average bathroom remodel master bath, which is a little bit bigger than a powder room, you're going to spend 15, 20 grand on a low average. It can go way up from there, but we have some really, really good bathroom contractors. If you need help, just go to hiredone.com. We'll help you. Like to have my patio door installed in a place that does not have a door currently. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, we have contractors who will break through the brick siding. They'll put a header in. They'll put all that in for you. Just go to hiredone.com. J&E services, they do that. But anyways, we'll help you out. So here's the deal, my friends. You are hiring a contractor. You're all excited. You roll your sleeves up. You get all excited. And you start off the job gung-ho. Contractor starts in demo. 3-4 days later, no calls. No one shows up. There's a mess. Water's dripping out of the bathroom faucet that they demoed. You're scratching your head and you're like all excited. And the next thing you start to think, you're starting to sweat. You're like, uh-oh, maybe the guy's not coming back. He's not returning calls. What's going on? Well, we never want this to happen, but there's going to be a time when you may have to fire your contractor. There may be a time you might have to call an attorney. There may be a time where you may have to really think about this. But anyways, here's the deal. Joining me in the Hire It Done studio is Eric Glick from the Glick Law Firm and a longtime friend of Hire It Done and myself personally. Welcome, Eric.
Morning, Adam. It's good to be here.
Good. Thanks for coming in, brother.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
So you've been an attorney how long now?
About 23 years.
Boy,
Yep.
my man.
Time flies.
Yeah, that is. All right, let's get right down to it. You've been a sharp attorney. I've known you a long time. You've helped me. You've helped contractors.
Mm-hmm.
You and I keep our finger on the pulse of the law when it comes to contracting.
Right.
But you do contractors for homeowners and homeowners. You do both ways.
Yeah, if you know the law, then the law is the same for the most part, whether you're talking about commercial, whether you're talking about residential, and whether you're talking about representing the property owner or the contractor or the subcontractors or materials or equipment providers. It's all the same law.
Well, I have a special case I want to give you to. We have a plumber, great plumber. His name is Ron Alexander, Shelby Mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing work for, all over Hire It Done. He does great work. They love him. We love him. But he's got a management company that's messing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs your help. Will you help out?
Of course.
I want to go guns a-blazing after these people.
Management companies can be great or they can be horrible. It's
They
like
don't pay.
anything else.
I want the money for this guy.
Right.
And we're going to use the radio show to help get it. So,
Okay.
Ron, Hire It Done and the attorneys to the rescue. You just make sure you understand that, Ron. We're coming after him. We're going to take care of business for you. Anyways, homeowner has a problem with the contractor. What's the first advice we give?
Well, boy, in the example you gave, there's a lot of things going on that come to my mind. First is, you got to have a good contract. You got to have everything specified. All the scope of work, you want to be really specific. Then you want to make sure you get the payments under control. Right? If you're the property owner, you want to not overpay. Right.
Yeah,
and
of
if you're the contractor, you want to get paid as much as possible. And then so you want to manage expectations. And then the other thing is sometimes you want to be patient. And part of that is communication.
Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We have Anthony Iapolo, Easy Exit Egress windows. We're talking about egress windows in the basement, how they're properly installed, the right way to do it, how long does it take, what's it cost. And if you have a question about it, text us 97136. We'll take your text. Maybe we'll read it on the air. One of my contractors just texted me. He's Jim Seggy from Seggy Renovations. He's talking about, he always puts egress windows in all the basement renovations he does. So, Anthony, do you work with contractors who do basement remodeling as well?
Yeah. Majority of our work's probably directly with homeowners, but we do work with contractors too.
Makes sense, and that's the way it is. Okay, so back to the installation of a egress window. So you got a concrete wall, poured wall, let's use that. You saw cut the wall square. Now do you go, let's say the window's 32 inches wide. Is your saw cut 32 inches wide? Is it 32 and a half? Is there room for foam insulation? What do you usually do?
So we can use a 32-inch rough opening width-wise.
And then what do you use? You order a 31 and a half, a 31?
We order a 28-inch
Okay.
width window, and that gives us room for our framing and an expansion gap that we see.
Okay, so you have to do, okay, so there's where you have it. So you have an inch and a half on each side or whatever it is. And that allows you, now is the window sit in a wood frame?
Yeah. So
treated lumber or something?
treated lumber, yeah. We
Okay.
frame it in with that, and then we screw the window into that frame.
Okay, makes sense. And then that frame's stuck to the concrete.
Yeah, we trim it out and seal it, caulk it up.
So on the outside, when you're at the outside looking at the way the window's framed against the concrete, is it flush on the outside?
We set them back in, so we have room to be able to do a nice tight caulk line to the,
Okay, so inch set
about
in?
an inch and a quarter or so, inch and a half. It just depends, because what happens is when the foundation's poured, sometimes it pitches.
Sure.
And then so we want to, and then if you have a block fascia, brick fascia,
Yeah.
you want to set that window in a compromise. Sometimes you got to compromise, look at the best location to set that frame up where it's going to look good. With the
aesthetically.
brick.
So
And
there's a little bit of play
yeah,
there.
there's a little, you got to kind of, use
I wonder
your
if homeowners
judgment.
know that. Here's one. Here's a good one that just came in, a Remax agent. Good morning, Adam. I'm an agent with Remax in Livonia. I'm getting missed answers on this question. My question is, does adding an egress window allow you to add basement square footage? So if you finish your basement with an egress window, I would say that it should allow the added square footage.
Yeah, I actually usually refer to a real estate agent to answer me that question.
Yeah.
Because I've seen things listed different ways in all the different communities. So I always tell the homeowner to consult their local real estate agents.
Makes sense. I'm going to say that if you have a finished basement and there's an egress window, whatever the finished square footage, you should add. That's my opinion. And so this is it. Hey, Adam, my name's Tim. I do hardwood floors for a living, and I'm always concerned about water, obviously. My question is, what do they do for drainage when the rain and snow gathers in the well of an egress window? So now let's back to the egress window. That's the answer to this question. So you've got the window installed. You've framed it. You've caulked it. You've wrapped aluminum. You've got it all weatherproof. But water comes down. You've got the well.
Yep.
Is your well plastic or is it wood or metal?
So we use the galvanized steel
Okay.
or fiberglass well systems.
Now, water comes down. Where does that water go? What do you do? Tell me how that is built.
So that's the first thing we do is excavate. We go all the way down to the footing of the foundation.
So you can go lower than the window.
Yeah.
And that, what do you pipe there, or what do you do?
So we dig down. We tee into the drain tile that goes around the foundation footing.
Okay.
We tee into it, run a riser up of slotted black pipe, and then we fill that from the bottom of the footing all the way up to underneath where the window's going to start, full of pea stone. So it's the stone is a natural drain. It's
Sure.
going to allow
Filters, it
all that
does
water
all that. That's
filtered
smart.
through there, and so we've never had issues with drainage that way. And as far as any of the water goes down in there, as long as the drain's done right and the drain system around the house is working properly and your sump pump is working properly.
So it's all connected.
Yeah, water will get where it needs to be, and
Hopefully
generally
away.
from your house.
Okay, so that's important. So there's so many connected parts that you don't realize. And that's the thing. A house has been sitting 40 years in the ground. It's settled. You buy the house. You're like, oh, I'm going to remodel the house. I'm going to finish my basement. I'm going to cut in a egress window. You're going to disturb that soil. You're going to dig down to the footing, and you got this clay drain tile.
Yeah.
You're going to connect to this clay drain tile. Now, you're going to backfill with pea stone, but it's not going to be pea stone in the tile. It's around it.
It's around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And then you backfill it, and then when the tile, when the actual drain tile comes to the surface, when leaves and stuff fall, you
Yeah.
got to clean that out yearly.
yeah. So what helps with that is when we do our egress windows, typically we include, like, there's usually, you have a ladder, a well, a grate, a steel grate for strength, but then there's usually, typically we can include a plastic cover that will Velcro onto the steel grate, and it helps keep leaves out. But if you do have an egress window that doesn't have a plastic cover that covers that steel grate and debris gets down in there, yeah, you need to make it an effort to clean that out, clean the leaves out so that water can get to the stone or to the drain.
What about egress window installations gone wrong? Have you ever had someone call you out and say, hey, we had this other guy do it, or the house we bought had it, and now, bam, it's all leaking all the time? What do you usually see when it's a bad install?
Well, it could be where the people that did it didn't do what I just explained by tying into the drain tile system. They dug. We've went out onto Josmere, my nephew Adam. We've went down in the well, and looks like what's a drain sitting there, and you pull it out, and it's like a 4-inch little piece of pipe that's going to nowhere. And underneath a little layer of stone, it's all dirt.
And that's why the water puddles up, and then it goes back, and it works its way back.
Yeah, it works, builds up, and comes in through the window. We see that a lot.
So the best egress window is the one that's installed properly.
Exactly.
That's why Easy Exit is the best in the business, for sure. I've seen your work. I've seen you do it. In fact, I'm excited because we're going to be doing a video on the do's and don'ts of egress windows. We're going to watch you from start to finish. We're going to put that out on the YouTube sphere. Get everyone out there.
Looking forward to that.
That'll be fun. We got to wait for the weather to.
Yeah.
So, do your windows prevent coronavirus?
They're energy efficient.
That's even better.
But I can't tell you that they'll prevent the coronavirus.
No, I'm kidding. Is there different egress windows out there? Because I know the one you use is like the premium brand.
Yeah, there's different versions of egress windows, and I mean, some people, really want like the sliding type windows in there, but we prefer to install the window that we use most. I really strongly feel it's the best window out there for the application. But I had a customer recently ask us if we could match. He has a basement that needs an egress window in it, but he has some windows that were put in the basement he wants us to match, and they're more like your standard sliding windows.
Sure.
So I've been looking into that. I looked into what we could use to try to match it, and explain that it'll be different because we're setting it all into concrete instead of wood, but it's going to match as closely as we can.
You could put more than one egress window in if a homeowner wants, right?
Oh yeah.
Is there a maximum width
as far as
how wide you can go?
Well, I mean, typically we like to keep them like within a 4-foot range, like a 48-inch window.
Sure.
We do 48 by 48 windows. We've done a few that were, I think the biggest window we did was one that was like 55 inches lengthwise.
All right,
it was
that's
in a real
cool.
Tall basement.
Anthony Iapolo, Easy Exit Egress Windows, egresswindowinstallation.com. Go to Hire It Done if you want to get a hold of them. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on, man. You're the best.
Thanks, Adam.
Stay
Thanks
clean
for
out
having
there.
me.
Thank everyone. I'll see you all next week. Stay clean, social distance, wipe and wash your hands. I'm Adam Helfman. See you next week.